Good morning, everyone. I am Michelle Flores Pasuhil with my groupmates, Miss Kristen Lyra Prado and Miss Erica Oribe. We are the presenters for the Korean literature. South Korea is an East Asian nation in the southern half of the Korean peninsula, shares one of the world's most heavily militarized borders with North Korea. It's equally known for its green, hilly countryside dotted with cherry trees and centuries-old Buddhist temples, plus its coastal fishing villages, subtropical islands, and high-tech cities such as Seoul, which is the capital. Korea is a peninsular country in East Asia. Although historically one nation, it has been divided since 1945 into Communist North and non-Communist South. Korea's total area is 85,238 square miles. As a result of the Korean War from 1950 to 1953, brought on North Korea's invasion of the South, the country is no longer divided at the 38th parallel but by a demilitarized zone of 487 square miles. The Korean people are part of the Tungusic branch of the Mongoloid race. Its land may have been first occupied some 5,000 to 10,000 years ago by Tungusic people who came from the cold northern regions of Central Asia. By the way, Tungusic peoples are an ethno-linguistic group formed by the speakers of Tungusic languages, or Manchu-Tungus languages. They are native to Siberia and Northeast Asia. The Tungusic phylum is divided into two main branches, which is the northern or Ivanic or Tungus and southern Georgian or Nanay. Some of the famous people are Kim Dae-jung, Kim Young-sam, Ro Tae-wo, and Kim Song-II. First is President Kim Dae-jung. Kim Dae-jung's vision for the Korean people led him to pursue a policy of engagement toward North Korea. He and North Korean leader Kim Jong-il worked together on a joint declaration they signed on June 15, 2000, paving the way for a brighter future for all Koreans and other peace-loving peoples of the world. Kim Dae-jung was a South Korean politician and activist who served as president of South Korea from 1998 to 2003. He was a 2000 Nobel Peace Prize recipient for his work for democracy and human rights in South Korea and in East Asia in general, and for peace and reconciliation with North Korea and Japan. Second is Kim Young-sam. Kim Young-sam was a South Korean politician and activist who served as president of South Korea from 1993 to 1998. From 1961, he spent almost 30 years as one of the leaders of the South Korean opposition and one of the most powerful rivals for the authoritarian regimes of Park Chung-hee and Chun Dong-hwan. He elected as president in 1992. Kim became the first civilian to hold the office in over 30 years. He was inaugurated on February 25, 1993 and served a single 5-year term, presiding over a massive anti-corruption campaign, the arrest of his two predecessors, and an internationalization policy called Segyewa. Third is Ro Tae-wo. Ro was a military general when he helped Chun lead troops to the Gwangju democratization movement in 1980. Ru held several key army posts such as Commander of the Capital Security Command in 1979 and Commander of the Defense Security Command in 1980. Ro Tae-wo is a former South Korean politician and army general who served as president of South Korea from 1988 to 1993. He was a leader of the Democratic Justice Party and is known for passing the June 29 Declaration in 1987. Lastly is Kim Song-II. Kim Sung was a North Korean politician and the founder of North Korea, which he ruled from the country's establishment in 1948 until his death in 1994. He held the post of premier from 1948 to 1972 and president from 1972 to 1994. He was also the leader of the Workers' Party of the Korea from 1949 to 1994. Kim was regularly hailed by the media as the fearless leader and the great successor to the revolutionary cause. He emerged as the most powerful figure behind his father in North Korea. On December 24, 1991, Kim was also named Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army. Some of the historical places include Changyong Palace, Bogoksa Temple, the Gyeongbok, the Dongdaemun, the Pyongyang, and the Tower of Joseon. First is the Changyong Palace. Changyong Palace is one of the 4 grand palaces located in Seoul, South Korea. It is one of the best attractions in the capital city and can be reached easily anywhere you stay in Seoul. Changyong Palace was originally built as Sogangung Palace by the 4th ruler of the Joseon dynasty, King Sejong, for his retiring father, Kim Taejung. It often served as residential quarters for queens and concubines. Second is the Bulguksa Temple. It is a representative relic of Buddhist culture from the Silla Kingdom. The temple was built in 528 BC during the 15th year of King Bipuyong's reign, to wish for peace and prosperity for all. Third is the Gyeongbokgung Palace. It is commonly referred to as the Northern Palace because its location is furthest north when compared to the neighboring palaces of Changdeokgung, or the Eastern Palace, and Gyeonghojung, or the Western Palace. Gyeongbokgung Palace is arguably the most beautiful and remains the largest of all 5 palaces. Fourth place is the Dongdaemun. It is a major urban development landmark in Seoul, South Korea, designed by Zaha Hadid and Samu, with a distinctively neo-futuristic design characterized by the powerful, curving forms of elongated structures. A fundamental aim of the scheme is to bring delight and inspiration to the people of Seoul by establishing a cultural hub in the center of one of the busiest and most historic districts of the city. Fifth is the Pyongyang. It is the capital and largest city of North Korea, where it is known as the capital of the revolution. Pyongyang is located on the Taedong River about 109 kilometers upstream from its mouth on the Yellow Sea. According to the 2008 population census, it has a population of 3,255,288. Lastly, the Joseon Tower. It is completed in 1982. It is a monument in Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea, and is named after the ideology of Joseon introduced by the country's first leader, Kim Il-sung. Korean literature is usually divided chronologically into a classical and a modern period, but the basis for such a division is still being questioned. Great reforms swept Korea after the mid-19th century as its society actively absorbed Western things. Korea has a long-standing literary tradition, and literature has always occupied a position of high cultural importance. Korea, for instance, is number 1 per capita internationally in poetry publications per person. Korea's history is thoroughly represented in its literature, and its literature is often centered on arguments or representations about that history. Korean literature is normally intended to mean something and be taken seriously.